We're back in the swing of things, baby. And the Yankees have a doubleheader today. So, but I have some news for you first. Okay, for those that haven't heard, two pieces of news. Number one, Luis Hill is officially begins his throwing program today. So he's officially taking the first step on his way back. I expect him back I'm hearing mid-June. So that could be another reinforcement coming to the pitching. But the other pitching news, and it's more significant, Aaron Boone confirmed this. They have taken Devin Williams out of the closer role and putting Luke Weaver in the closer role. Okay, they're going to try to put Devin Williams in lower leverage situations right now to help him rebuild his confidence and rebuild his footing to eventually put him back in the closer role if it works out. Now, the Guardians did the same thing yesterday with Emmanuel Clase, who's also struggling. So, smart moves by both teams. Thankfully, the Yankees have a guy like Luke Weaver. And now we have reinforcements coming back. Johnny Loizaga is already in his rehab. So he's going to be back soon. We got Jay Cousins coming back soon. We've got Luis Hill coming back soon. So we do have pitching reinforcements to complement whatever's here already to ease the burden on Devin Williams. So hopefully this makes fans happy if you haven't heard that. So, but again, Luke Weaver has shown to have ice in his veins. The dude is completely fearless, completely unfazed by everything, right? So let me put my laptop charger on here just in case. So those two news, I had to get out to you. Had to get out to you right away. So, well, a lot of injuries, Beagle, unfortunately. A lot of unfortunate injury news. So, and again, this applies to a lot of folks, right? Look at the Dodgers. They had to shut down Blake Snell for the foreseeable future. They don't know when he's coming back because of an injury. So, and their payroll's $400 million, and they're in third place in the NL West. Third place. So, I already shared it. Yeah, and they've already taken Devin Williams out of the closer role and put Luke Weaver in the closer role and he's going to give Devin Williams an opportunity to kind of rebuild his confidence and get his footing back. And then if he gets back to the closer role, he gets back to the closer role. So, but he's officially out of the closer role right now. Devin Williams, and Luke Weaver's in. So that'll hopefully help Devin Williams get his head right, because Yankee fans are definitely not going easy on him. They're definitely not giving him any kind of leeway. So, it is what it is. I don't know if he's better off as a set-off guy. I mean, maybe in New York he is, but he was one of the best closers in baseball. If you look at his stats, he's had under a 2 ERA the last 3 years. Under 2. So, but I figured this would make Yankee fans happy. Luke Weaver's back in the closer role right now. Now it's up to him to keep it. There's no guarantee he keeps it, but hopefully he will. So, and I agree, Robert. If this doesn't motivate him, then I don't know what will. And if his attitude, and if he takes a bad attitude towards it, don't be surprised if he gets traded at the deadline. Don't be surprised. So maybe this is what he needs to kind of get his footing and come back here. So I'm hoping that Yankee fans will support the guy and encourage him. So many Yankee fans, content creators, all they do is spend so much time trashing the man on Twitter and on YouTube from behind the screen. It's just completely unproductive energy. So the Knicks play this afternoon, I think, Davey. I think they play at 1:30, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they're up 2-1 on the Pistons. So yeah. So, and I think, Devin Williams has a big arm too. He throws almost 100 miles an hour, like Clase, but they both kind of abandoned their repertoire, and they're both getting hit hard. So they got to get back to their dominant selves. And I'm thankful that the Yankees have enough bullpen depth to withstand it. Yeah. Yeah. But we'll see. I think he'd be a valuable asset in the bullpen. Just like Johnny Loizaga. I'd rather have a 5-headed monster than a 2-headed monster in the bullpen. Yes, it would, Joe. I agree. That's a great 8-9 inning combo. Loizaga comes back. Jay Cousins coming back. We got the other guys here, Tim Hill, Tyler Matzek, like Fernando Cruz, Ryan Yarbrough, we have the makings of of just a phenomenal bullpen. We really do. Um, uh, yeah. Well, we'll see, Silver. Yeah. If he's got the stomach for it, right? He can just go out there, work on his stuff, and if he needs to take it in the chin, he takes it in the chin. And comes back and does it again. Right? Stanton always takes it in the chin. Acts like a pro. So and that's just it is what it is right now. And again, the Yankees are in first place and going through this stuff. And they're in first place again without Hill, without Cole, without Stanton. And they're in first place without Juan Soto. So there it is. Mania is in the place. One of my partners in the podcast. Anybody that's not subscribed to New York Yankee Mania, that's our new podcast with Joe with NFE. Please make your way over to New York Yankee Mania and hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. We greatly appreciate it. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers as quickly as we possibly can. Your support really means the world. So, and everybody that hasn't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Let's try to get over 100 likes in here as well. Okay. Same thing too, Kenneth, man. God bless you, brother. I wouldn't say that. Always the Yankees management. That's not their job to be on the field. If the players aren't doing their job, why would we blame management? Right? That's players need to be held accountable too. It's only fair. These guys get paid lots of money. So, but in the end, the management made that decision to take Williams out of the closer role and put Weaver in. So that's good news. Now, all we know still right now is that DJ's healthy. So, and he could be an option for third base, but I don't know yet. Exactly. Yeah, no accountability, Steve. Exactly. You should be throwing stuff at their players, man. Yeah, Tanner Scott would have been nice, but we don't have him, so yeah. And the Dodgers have, I think, not only I think it might be Blake Treinen too. There's a couple of players on the Dodgers that are injured, right? And Blake Snell is probably the most notable one right now. DJ is a right-handed hitter, and unless they're quietly planning on potentially going after Nolan Arenado, and that could happen, and he is he's getting his clutch gene back right now. He had a walk-off home run, I think it was yesterday. So I still think they're going to bring in a right-handed bat, but why would they go out and trade half the farm for one when they have somebody in-house already, DJ? So if DJ shows that he can produce like he did the first game or two, he might be an option. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. But I don't be surprised if Nolan Arenado is brought here at the deadline. Don't be surprised. And don't be surprised if they bring a pitcher with him, too, at the deadline. It could happen. Game 2, I think, is going to be at Lorenzo. I think at 5 o'clock. So 4:30 or 5, Lorenzo. Yeah, the Dodgers did claim Yoendris Gomez off waivers. Yes, they did. Yep, and that could be because they, Blake Treinen's hurt. Blake Snell's hurt. So, Croatia's in the house going, what's up? What's up, Croatia? We'll see if they split. I hope they win both, but we'll see. Let's just work on the first game. Let's hopefully get a win for Max Fried. And, yeah, well, the Mets are playing well. They're playing well. So, yeah, Rob. Well, there's 2 pieces of pitching news, okay, if you haven't heard. The first piece is that Luis Hill starts his throwing program today. So he's officially starting his first step back. And the other piece is Aaron Boone confirmed this in interviews that they've removed Devin Williams from the closer role and put Luke Weaver in. They want Devin Williams to kind of pitch in lower leverage situations and rebuild his confidence. So if he goes back to the closer at some point, he can be productive. Now, the Guardians did the same thing yesterday with Emmanuel Clase. They took him out of the closer role. Clase, stud closer. So it's not only happening in Yankee land, it's happening in Cleveland Guardians land too. Clase's been getting lit up. Whatever it might be, it just happens with closers. So I did not read no from Jason. I did not read anything from Jason Worth. But that's the latest right now, gang. And so everybody smack that like button, gang. We got 80 people in here right now. Let's try to get to 100 likes as quickly as we can. It's always helpful in the algorithm. It helps in the channel, and it's always greatly appreciated too. Yeah, Joe, rocking and rolling, man. Back from the draft, and I was at Penn Relays on Friday, so it was a good weekend. I do it every single year. Draft on Thursday, Penn Relays Friday. It's a tradition. I've been doing it for a long time. No, second game is 5:05. Okay, so they get a little bit of time in between the games to maybe eat and we were spoiled with Rivera, we were spoiled with Jeter, we were spoiled with a lot of guys. It's just a fact, you know. But yeah, Mariano, and it's really hard to set expectations for anybody beyond Mariano Rivera because everybody's just going to pale in comparison when you look at the bigger picture, right? So, but you're right, Davey. We were definitely spoiled with Mo. Most definitely spoiled with Mo. And people can talk about Gio, oh, he's overrated, this and that. This guy's the first ballot Hall of Famer. It's not overrated. Okay? Not overrated. So, Judge Homer. Yeah, it'd be nice if Judge hit a homer. It'd be nice. Do I think the Giants had? Yes, I do. I think they had a strategic draft. I think they did extremely well on the top end. Abdul Carter. And then they traded up for Jackson Dart in the first round to get their quarterback. Is an Ole Miss product, as was Eli Manning. So there's a connection there, and I think Jackson Dart was probably a better fit than a Shador Sanders anyway. And I mean, Shador Sanders, I'm glad he got picked. He got drafted in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. If you haven't heard, but and again, it's no knocking his play. He's a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. But I've heard some stuff and even heard it out there that he was unprepared to his meeting with the Giants, and he got called out on it by Brian Daboll, the head coach. I don't know if you heard that. So, and it's the fact of the matter is, like, he made millions of dollars on NIL deals, and I don't fault athletes for getting NIL deals in college. I mean, you want to monetize people. The athletes should be the one to get paid, not the boosters and the college and stuff. They're the ones that people watch the TVs for, right? So those are the guys who should be getting money. But the problem, I think, is he was out there on social media driving a Bentley and a Rolls Royce and flashing this and flashing that. It probably rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, right? So maybe that's why people steer clear from him. I don't know, but that's the other side of it. But can't fault the guy from getting an NIL deal. Okay, and he's got his dad, Deion Sanders, who's a Hall of Fame player, one of the greatest corners of all time, right? So now, in terms of the Jets, Mark, I think the Jets had a very good draft. And one of the things I was hoping that they would do, and if they actually did, is if they were not going to get a tight end in round 1, get an offensive lineman in round 1, and then if they got a tight end in round 1, get an offensive lineman in round 2, but they got a right tackle in round 1, they got a tight end in round 2. So it did exactly what they want, I was hoping they would do. And then they got defense, they got a corner on day 2 in round 3, right? And then they kind of filled roles in day 3. It's from rounds 4 through 7. They kind of traded up and they added some pieces here, so those could be kind of role player pieces and so on and so forth. So, but I am very happy with what the Giants and the Jets did in the first 3 rounds. So I'm very happy about that. So, but we'll see now. Darren Mucci has some wiggle room now. I expect them to sign a couple more players in free agency. There's a lot of undrafted free agents that they've already signed, so they're going to continue to put this roster together. But now they have their building block, the Jets, for the future here with their right tackle combining with Olo Fashanu on the other side. Now you have 2 big boys to protect, to complement the rest of the guys to protect Justin Fields. And now you have a big tight end to throw to, and his dad just so happened to be Jason Taylor, who Hall of Fame player who also played for the Jets. This kid's name is Mason Taylor. Played, so it doesn't get much better right now, at least in my opinion. So I was happy um, what the Jets and the Giants both did. And I'm also happy that Shedeur Sanders got drafted. It would have been messed up had he not got drafted. Not, there was so much chatter going on up there. People were pissed off at Deion Sanders for standing up for his son and blah, blah, blah. Well, man, keep in mind, Archie Manning did the same thing for his son, Eli Manning. Okay? So there's no difference between the two. Dads are standing up for their kids, period. Nothing wrong with that. So I don't buy the whole collusion argument and BS. So, boy, it's paint the bigger picture, not just what you want people to hear. So crazy. Crazy. Robert Shiloh went undrafted. Yeah, there were guys that went on. It was crazy. A lot of guys went undrafted. So yeah, Knicks. I don't think they're not ready to win a championship, but I think they're ready to go deeper in the playoffs than they did last year. But I'm not sure if they're ready to get past the top tier guys, maybe the Cavs or the Sox. I'm not sure if they're ready to go past those guys just yet. I think they need another piece, and then maybe they'll be in a better spot next year, which I hope that they do. But we'll see. We will see. So, and by the way, before we go any further, here's the Yankees lineup for today's game. Game 1 against the Toronto Blue Jays. So, who do we have here? Leading off, we got Ben Rice at the DH spot. Aaron Judge is batting second in right field. Cody Bellinger is batting third in center field. Paul Goldschmidt is cleaning up at first base. Jazz Chisholm batting fifth at second base. Anthony Volpe batting sixth at shortstop. Austin Wells at the dish, batting seventh. Jason Dominguez batting eighth in left field. Oswaldo Cabrera is batting ninth at third base. And on the mound is our dude, Max Fried. Who is he facing? Kevin Gossman from the Blue Jays. So, two big arms going up against each other. So this should be a good game. And I'm excited about Max Fried. I really, really am. So I'm hoping that and management is scared of distractions, and Shedeur Sanders definitely has many distractions. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that was so much of that talk that circulated out there was the baggage that surrounded him. Whether it's this, whether it's Deion Sanders, whatever it might be. Doesn't really matter. He can play. I'm glad he got drafted. That's it. But it sounds as like the vibe was that he flashed too much money from the NIL deal, that people were like, we're not going to give him the big money. So that's one of the reasons why he fell. We'll see. Clark Schmidt is pitching game 2. Right now, we'll get the lineup later. I guess we'll get it in between games. So, and I'll put it out in a short. Yes, free agent with the bug. Yeah, it's still going to be the Giants. The Jets and the Giants both had a good draft. Both had a good draft. So I'm happy with them. I do think they'll make a move or two, Kenneth, either at the deadline or before the deadline. But again, I think they're going to see what they need at the deadline, and I think Luis Hill coming back will tell them a lot of intel. They'll know much better as to whether they need to go out and get a starting pitcher or not, depending on if Luis Hill comes back and he's productive and healthy. Because then they might not need to do that. Maybe they'll just focus on a right-handed bat, right? Or maybe they'll try to get somebody like Nolan Arenado and get a reliever to go along with him. Don't know. So we'll see. It's going to be a interesting couple of months, but it's still early in the season too. It's still very early in the season, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. But you all happy with the draft? Shedeur Sanders, undersized, maybe a little bit. Honestly, aside from Cam Ward, to me, there was no real surefire first-round quarterback aside from Cam Ward. Not even Jackson Dart, but I had a feeling the Giants were going to trade for him. He reminds me of Baker Mayfield. And I don't know why in the world the Browns moved on from Baker Mayfield for Deshaun Watson. It was a disastrous move, the Browns. But now you got Shedeur Sanders to maybe compete, and Deshaun Watson's not even going to play this year. He just retore his Achilles. There's so much baggage that goes along with him. I'd rather have somebody like Shedeur Sanders. Right? And the fact of the matter is, he's a good player. His dad's a Hall of Famer. He's got really good pedigree, really good football pedigree. So, Buffalo was pretty decent in the draft too. I got to go back. I have to recap. Do a little bit more deep diving into the teams. I just kind of looked into the Giants and the Jets and to see how they did. But at some point, I would be putting Bellinger in front of Judge and Goldschmidt behind them. But I understand, based on who you're facing, the you know if you bat him in front of Judge, then you probably want to try to pitch to Cody Bellinger and try to get him out instead of risking walking him and so on and so forth. You want to try to force him to put a ball in play. But now he's also hitting better. If you do that, then he has better odds of getting on base. So that could another be a reason why. Because if you put Judge on, it's probably easier to get Bellinger out afterward. If you put Bellinger on first, it's a little bit of a tougher matchup with Bellinger in front of him than it is behind him. So I understand how just the different matchups. But I do think a good fit was eventually would be Bellinger at second, Judge third, and then Goldschmidt fourth at some point. So, what's that, Kenneth? You heard the Yankees what? Yeah, Baker Mayfield. He's a gamer too, man. He did the Browns hardly won any games every years, and he brought him. He came in. They gradually started getting better, and then he took them to the playoffs. The Browns. It's like, but now you got Shadur Sanders, and then you got Deshaun Watson's like freaking Bo Callahan from draft day. So it's just crazy. But I think again without the chatter that surrounded Sanders, he probably would have gone earlier. Yeah. Yeah, Jalen Milroe. That's a good sign by a good pick by Seattle. They brought in Jalen Milroe. That's a very good one. You hear from where, Kenneth, that they might be interested in Marcell Ozuna from Atlanta? I'm not hearing that anymore. Where are you hearing that from? And I haven't heard that he's available either. But why would they be interested in an outfield? They don't need an outfielder. That's what kind of confuses me, Kenneth. Where are you hearing that from? Yeah, Beagle. It's a phenomenal movie. I love Draft Day. I watch it every year on Draft Day, on Thursdays of the draft every year. It's tradition. It's like good pregame, right? Paranormal. So, two pieces of news. Luis Hill starts his rehab assignment, starts his pitching program today. And the bigger piece of news is Devin Williams has been removed from the closer spot, and Luke Weaver has been put in the closer spot. So, and Aaron Boone confirmed that today. So, that's the big picture news. Paranormal. 10 most rewatchable football. Are there 10 football movies worth watching? 10? Oh. I mean, you got Draft Day, Any Given Sunday, The Replacements, The Longest Yard. I Remember the Titans. Beyond that, are there 5 more? Wow. Oh, Rudy. Yeah, Rudy. That's right. Thank you. Yeah. Rudy's another one. It's one of my favorite ones. I can't believe I forgot that. Shame on me for forgetting Rudy. Wildcats with Goldie Hawn. Oh my God. Little Giants with Rick Moranis and Ed O'Neill. By the way, Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy, he did play in the NFL. Waterboy. Another good one. Tim King. What's happening, Tim King? Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing too, Scott, like what I don't know is, did Boone have the final say? Like, we don't know. But it was the right move at the time. Right now, it was the right move. Just like Cleveland yesterday. If you didn't hear, they removed Emmanuel Clase from the closer role too, because him and Devin Williams are both having the same struggles right now. So, same thing. Yankees removed Devin Williams from the closer role, put Luke Weaver in. They swapped them out. So, that's the news. And the other piece of news is Luis Hill started a strong program today. So he's officially on his way back. So hopefully that makes Yankee fans happy. I know that a lot of Yankee fans wanted him gone. They wanted Devin Williams traded to Cuba. So even though those that do not fact check know that he's terrible in April, pretty much every year in his career. And then he really picks it up, and he has a sub-2 ERA the last 3 seasons overall, despite a terrible April. So, yeah, I know, Brandon. That's why we're here. Aaron Boone confirmed it, Brandon. Thank you. Aaron Boone confirmed. Devin Williams is removed. Luke Weaver's in. Well, that's why they're putting him in lower leverage situations, Beagle, so he can rebuild his confidence, and then maybe they'll transition back to closer then. But we'll see. Well, you're right too, Davey. It does take time to adjust to new leagues. I'm just eating some jelly beans. Just some jelly beans. I'm not going to pound on the guy either, Beagle. Was he throwing 10 innings? No. You know, if it's in his head, then it's in his head, right? You move him out, let him regain his footing, and then let him work his way back. And we'll see now how he does as a setup man. How he does. So can he regain his confidence? Or does that just break him altogether? I'm not buying the whole Pete Alonso broke the man narrative. I don't buy that. So, YouTube channel, which one? Yankees Digest? The one that peddles BS all the time? Is it that one, Kenneth Erica? Because they peddle stuff all the time and never prove anything. Or is it a different channel? I don't like channels that peddle that type of stuff for clickbaity reasons, and then they never back it up with facts. They never provide the receipts. Never. I don't like any of that stuff. It's not fair to the fans. Not fair to the viewers. Don't lie to the viewers, man. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's about to break out. It looks like Jazz is about to break out. It looks like Volpe's about to break out. So we need those 3 guys to kind of, we need those guys to kind of take the next step to kind of complement Goldschmidt and Judge. We need just more hitting in the lineup altogether. Of course, it was them, Kenneth. Yeah. So that channel is famous for BS. Constantly, almost on a daily basis. They're saying this year, oh, the Yankees traded for Rafael Devers. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, they signed Rafael Devers. He's not even a free agent. What are you talking about? Like, they peddle so much garbage over there. I'm not going to spend my time talking about them. So let them do whatever they need. If people want to watch them, go right ahead. Yeah. Yeah. We need these guys to put the ball in play. We need them to utilize their speed. Jazz and Volpe are 2 of the fastest guys on the team. Put the ball in play. Hit it into the gaps if you can. Go from first to second, right? And let the other guys drive you in. So, well, we'll see if that's the case, Rick. We'll definitely see if that's the case. But yeah, the lights are too bright for some people. You're right about that. Well, exactly, too, Robert. Yeah. Now they can develop Jackson Dart behind Russell Wilson, behind Jameis Winston. So, they can develop them slowly, like they should, instead of, because people are like, you got to draft Shedeur Sanders, and You got to start him. Like, well, you're not going to start Shador Sanders, even if you pick him at number 2. You're not going to start him over Russell Wilson. It's just not. It wasn't going to happen ever. No, Russell Wilson, this guy can handle this type of stuff, and he's still a mobile, athletic quarterback. So now you can have a guy like Jackson Dart, who was excited about getting drafted by the Giants. Now you can develop him. And now you start to build an offensive line like the Jets have been doing for the last couple of years, and protect your quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Well, this is true too, Dave. Yeah, Jeter never acted like a slugger. Yeah. All Will Smith. Yeah, I think it's called Concussion, Robert. I think you're right. I think it's called Concussion. That is a good movie too. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Volpe. I mean, we need Volpe, Jazz, and Austin Wells to just provide some kind of semblance of consistency behind the other guys. We need Jason Dominguez to be more consistent too. So, peddling the state. Aaron Judge is using. Who's saying that? Who's saying that? Do you know who's saying that, Brandon? Well, same thing, yeah. I mean, we've said this before. Like, the Milwaukee market is not the New York market. The Cincinnati market's not the New York market, right? So, this is, you're dealing with reporters there. You're dealing with a hornet's nest here. It's completely different. David Gardner. Okay, I'm going to keep my eye out. Okay. Take a picture on that. Brandon, thank you. I don't like people who peddle that type of stuff. You peddle those types of accusations, you got to back it up. Winning time series. You ever seen that? I've never seen that, Davey. I just saw one about the Yankees Dodgers rivalry in the '70s. That was pretty cool. That was really cool. I think that was on maybe Amazon Prime or Peacock or something like that. That was good. That was a good series to watch. Longest Yard. Yeah, I like both versions actually. I mean, I like the original one with Burt Reynolds, but he was in the second one too. The second one was more funny than the first one, obviously. But and the second one also had, you had Michael Irvin in there, you had NFL players in there, so that was pretty cool. You had Stone Cold Steve Austin, Brian Bosworth, Bill Romanowski, he was one of the dirtiest players in the NFL. It's a good movie. Kevin Nash was in there too. Nelly, like Chris Rock, that Dollop Singh, Bob Sapp, Goldberg. So, yeah. And that was star-studded, the second Longest Yard. And for those that don't know, Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out in July. It's going to go right to, I think, maybe Netflix or somewhere else, but it's going to go right to digital. Actor that played with Larry Bird. I like that, Davey. I like that. Hello, Susan. How are you? Best of Times with Robin Williams. Streaming. Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be on digital download or something like that. That's such when I got rid of my DVD collection. I have everything on Apple TV now. Just play it. No commercials. Don't have to worry about anything, which is fantastic. But yeah. So, but for those that haven't heard, if you didn't hear, Susan, the Yankees have removed Devin Williams from the closer role and put Luke Weaver in the closer role. So, physical. I hear that, Beagle. I hope you had a good breakfast. Late breakfast, but good breakfast. Well, Beagle, there's still a couple of movies that I cannot purchase anywhere on digitally that they don't have for some reason because of naming rights. So those are the only two movies that I have, 2 or 3 movies that I have on DVD, and I keep my DVD player just for those movies because I can't buy them anywhere else. Steals, what's good, brother? I don't know if you heard the news. Yankees have removed Devin Williams from the closer role. Luke Weaver's in. That's the news this morning. Visible, what's happening, Visible? IHOP, oh yeah. Oh yeah. When I was in Boulder, Colorado, training for the summer, like in high altitude running, We used to go to IHOP almost every day. 10 silver dollar pancakes, hot chocolate. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, Steels. Yes, sir. And the Cleveland Guardians also removed Emmanuel Clase from the closer role, too. So Devin Williams and Clase had been removed and basically putting them back in lower leverage situations to help them rebuild confidence before they go back to closer. But Weaver's got ice in his veins, so I am not worried about that at all. I'm not worried about Luke Weaver. And we have Johnny Loizaga is already starting his rehab. Then we got Jay Cousins coming back, and then Luis Hill started his throwing program today. So I like the Bull Durham was a good movie. I'm not giving up on Devin Williams yet either. It's too early. It's too early for that. So we'll see how they play the Mets. Yeah, I mean the Mets are good right now. They're playing well. No denying that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. That's all right. Yeah, Weaver definitely looks like he's 12. So yeah, it's like when you ask him, you want to go to the zoo? He's gonna girl on his first date. He is well, we don't know if he's gonna be the mop up or not. Steals. All I know is he's getting put in lower leverage situations, probably the 7th and 8th innings, until he rebuilds his confidence, and then maybe they'll put him back in the closer role. But we'll see. If he becomes a dominant setup man and Weaver stays a dominant closer, then I'm fine with that too. I'm fine with that too. Demon D. Yo, Ace, what's good, Papa? What's going on, man? Did you hear the news? I'm sure you did, bro. I'm sure you heard it. Oh man. Ace, if you guys aren't subscribed to Ace Avenue as well, please make sure you do that. Another great Yankees content creator, man. Great baseball mind. Does a lot of movie talk too. So I'm thinking that, yeah, man. Yeah, Mahomes and Weaver. CL switcheroo. No. I mean, yeah, Rogers was like a late first round pick. Mahomes was a late first round pick too, or mid first round pick. So yeah, I'm not, let him get closer money. Weaver's getting not even set up man money. So I got you, Ace, man. You're the man, dude. Pitching, yeah. But I think Matt Blake will. And sometimes it takes a little longer to work with these guys. And again, like the Yankee fans are not giving him any room to breathe. This is the hornet's nest. I talk about this every year. You're dealing with a hornet's nest here. Fans, venom from fans, right? Unforgiving fans. And then you got unforgiving reporters. They'll ask you the same question 65 times, right? And what do they expect you to answer it differently each time? It's like, guys, come on. Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones did play Ty Cobb. I did see that movie. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, Steels. And like throughout Devin, Loizaga, and Weaver, I'll take that 3-headed monster. Sign me up, baby. Sign me up for that. Shoot. Injured players rehabs. Well, he just started his throwing program. Because that. So what we're hearing is if all goes well, he'll be back in mid-June. Luis Hill. Because a throwing program, you got to build your arm strength. You got to build. It's like essentially your off-season throwing program, and then they'll have like an abbreviated spring training, which would be pretty much May and in early June, and then he'll be, if all goes well, be back in the Bronx mid-June, which is fine. And if he plays well, maybe they don't need to go after a pitcher at the deadline. Maybe they don't, right? But Steels, I talked like when they called up I called the Yankees out last week because they brought up Vivas, and they didn't play him at all. Like you could have sat Volpe for a day, you could have sat Jazz for a day, and play Vivas. Why you just wasted his option? You didn't even play the guy. I did not understand that move. It didn't make any sense. But the thing with Volpe too, like he'll suck, and then all of a sudden he'll hit a clutch double like he did. Was it yesterday off the wall? And you see him hustle with reckless abandon, like. Every now and then, like you want to throw him to the wolves, and he does something. It's like, then it takes you off the ledge a little bit. Peraza too. Steals. I mean, Vivas had a lefty bat. I get it, but Peraza too. They're clearly not sold on Peraza, and I'm still of the opinion that when they move when they get a pitcher, whether it's start or reliever, Peraza can be part of the trade. Peraza is a better shortstop than Volpe, but the problem is, I mean, Volpe beat him out for that job in spring training, so he's got a Gold Glove on his belt now too. So you know, yeah, well, it's true too, Ace. Yeah, you could DH Volpe and Jazz. Yeah, you're going to give him a half a day, especially if you wanted to give Ben Rice a day or Judge, like, you know, it's okay to sit Ben Rice one day. It's okay to sit Aaron Judge for a day. These guys need rest too. Regular rest keeps them healthy for a longer period of time. Well, Dave, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've said the same. If you're not sold on Peraza, get him in a trade. Ryan McMahon from the Rockies, yeah, I would admit I would have loved him here. I don't know if he's available. That's the thing. I don't know if he's available. So, yep. Yeah, for Turner Stanton too. Yeah, it sounds as if he's going to be back in June also. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know, but that's what it sounds like. And you're right that you're absolutely right, Stills. They never really gave Peraza a legitimate chance. Like you gave Volpe, you gave him a legitimate chance, right? And now you're giving Dominguez a chance. What the hell happened to Peraza? The doubleheader. Oh, today the 27th man. Yuri De Los Santos. They called up a pitcher. Um, they called up a pitcher. Ace. Yuri De Los Santos. Yeah, right-handed pitcher for the 27th man. He's the 27th man for the doubleheader today. I'm not surprised they called up another arm. That way they don't have to just like butcher the bullpen. So, and hopefully Max Fried gives him a decent amount of length. Hopefully Schmidt gives him some length in the second game too. So, but these doubleheaders suck. Yeah. I doubt Ben Rice goes to third base at any point in time. I doubt it. I don't know if he has the range for it. I just don't see it. But there's going to be a roster crunch, Davey, right? Like, what happens next year if Goldschmidt comes back? I don't know if he was. But if he doesn't come back, do you move Cody Bellinger to first base, which opens up left field? Do you do that? Or do you keep him out there and try to get a first baseman? Like, I don't know. Well, exactly, too, Ace. Yeah. Would have been a great opportunity to give Vivas a game. And he's a highly touted, he's been highly touted here since we got him from the Dodgers. So play the guy. Play the guy. Right, Paranormal? Yeah, I'm not a fan of doubleheaders either, but unfortunately these stinking rainouts make them more possible make them more necessary than I'd like for them to be. But yeah. And I just hope, Volpe, it looks like they want him to kind of play his way through his funk. But it's almost like I was saying earlier, it feels as if Austin Wells is about to break out. It feels like Jazz is about to break out because they've been drawing more walks and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that the same applies to Volpe. Sometimes he looks lost at the plate. And all of a sudden he puts the bat to the ball and he does something. So it's like I never see like the middle with Volpe. I see the far ends of both sides of it, which is crazy. It's a player option, Rob, which I'd be surprised if he doesn't exercise it. I'd be surprised. If he can have just a mediocre year and exercise that just like $22.5 million, I don't think he's going to walk away from that. Especially if he doesn't play well, he ain't going to get anywhere else. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly too, Davey. Yeah, yeah. Instead of a stadium clean out. Yeah. Yep. I will say, I hope they win. I hope they win game one, Chocolate. I hope they win. I hope they win game one and two and take the series before Baltimore comes to town. And then we get Baltimore and then we play Tampa. So it's just AL East for the next week and a half. So, but yeah, I can't see Cody Bellinger. And that's the key. Like, if Bellinger doesn't, if I'm not sorry, if Goldschmidt doesn't come back, do you move Bellinger to first base and then pursue Kyle Tucker? Because a lot of fans want them to pursue Kyle Tucker, or does Spencer Jones keep playing the way he's playing now, and then make Kyle Tucker unnecessary? So there's a lot of questions that have yet to be answered that I think are going to need to be answered at some point. So, and and who do they pursue at the deadline, right? Do they? And the other thing too is, let's just say you trade for Arenado, right? Somehow, he also has the ability to move to first base. So, do you bring Arenado and then you move him to first base? If you keep Cody, you keep Cody out there. Like, there's other pieces of the puzzles I'm really curious to see. When Jones look, he's developmentally behind Tucker because he's a converted pitcher, but he's the same type of skill set. Tall, big guy, hits from the lefty side. He's an excellent defender. He's got light tower power. He's a very similar player than Kyle Tucker. The only difference is he's going to cost 90% less than Kyle Tucker. So I'm hoping that Spencer Jones continues to play as well he's playing right now. We'll see, Davey. I don't know. Does Goldie want to come back? Is the question. Well, that's the thing too. There's a lot of talk about Cubs and like, are they working on an extension for Kyle Tucker? I don't know, because he's going to make at least the same money that Vlad made before last year, so his AAV is going to be higher, right? No, but I agree. Cubs fans will probably burn the freaking stadium down if they don't re-sign Kyle Tucker, because they are playing good ball. Ace, I did like the Giants. I like that they got. I thought like if they got Abdul Carter, I thought they were going to then trade Thibodeau to try to trade back into the first round and get Jackson Dart, but they didn't even need to do that. They traded back into the first round and got Jackson Dart too as their quarterback, and they also got Abdul Carter. Now you compare him with Thibodeau and Brian Burns. Now you have a really defensive pass rush, a legitimate pass rush there for the Giants. So, and you can develop Jackson Dart behind Russell Wilson. So, hey, Jonathan, what's happening? So I like I was happy with the top part of the Giants draft. I'm happy with the top part of the Jets draft. The bottom part we just don't know yet. It looks like they're just going to be role players, but I'm glad that the Giants did what they did in the first couple rounds. I'm glad the Jets did what they did in the first couple rounds. So the back end, if you get somebody valuable out of that, so be it. But very rarely does that happen. Yep. Kyle Tucker's going to make at least $500 million. Yeah, he's going to make at least 500. Yeah. Yeah. I think the Jets and Giants defense have top 5 potential. I think the Jets offensive line is going to be beefed up with that kid that they brought in from Missouri. And I'm glad they got a tight end in the second round. So you got to protect Justin Fields and you got to give him weapons to throw to, right? So I'm glad they didn't need Shedeur Sanders. They didn't need Shedeur Sanders. And again, like, look, I'm glad Shedeur Sanders, I said this earlier, I'm glad Shedeur Sanders got drafted. But I think the chatter, because hearing it on Thursday, I heard a lot of stuff firsthand. The chatter that surrounded him on Thursday was crazy, right? And whether it's the NIL deal that he signed, he made millions off NIL deals in college. And I don't fault any college athletes, because I think the college athletes should be the ones to make money, not the freaking boosters in the college. Because they're the ones we go watch these guys play. The problem is he was flashing a lot of the stuff that he made from. He was flashing him in a Rolls Royce and a Bentley, and it's almost like flashing this money and throwing it in your face, which I think rubs some teams the wrong way. That doesn't make him any less good of a player, right? So I'm glad that he got picked by the Cleveland Browns, and I think he's going to be a better option for them than Deshaun Watson, who's not even going to play this year. So what do you know, Ken? What do you know, man? So that's the way I see it. I don't think yeah, they did. They definitely got value for Shedeur dropping. And they don't have to pay him that big money now, because they're paying Deshaun Watson that big freaking money, and he's not even playing for them. No. And I think so. Yeah, I think he will wind up being a franchise quarterback. And the fact of the matter is, like, there was so much chatter. People were pissed off about Deion Sanders standing up for his kid. And I said the same, like, yo, Archie Manning did the same thing for Eli Manning. There's no difference between Manning standing up for Manning and Deion standing up for Shador. There's no difference. Okay? That's a dad standing up for his kid. Period. That's it. Okay? And I'm glad Shador Sanders went to the Browns. I hope he plays well. I really do. And I'm glad the Browns also got that defensive lineman to pair with Myles Garrett too. So, yeah, Shalastein went to Tampa Bay Bucks. Yep. So Deion's both of Deion's sons are in the NFL now. He's undrafted. Shiloh was undrafted, right? So, Chandler, that's right, Robert. But I'm glad that both of his sons are in the NFL, and they got their dad's a Hall of Famer who has their back, man. So, and the fact of the matter is, he's made his players better in Colorado. They're a premier program now. Travis Hunter, number 2. Kudos to the Jacksonville Jags for trading up for him, giving Trevor Lawrence a weapon there. Legitimate weapon. So, oh, nice, Ken. Yeah, Eugenio Suarez hit 4 home runs yesterday. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. First time in almost 20 years that a player's hit 4 home runs. I think the last time was it Mark Whitten? Maybe. But that was cool. That was very cool. But yes, indeed. But that's the gang. That's what we got, gang. So I got to actually do some work now. So I want to let you all go. Let's go watch the Yankee game. Hopefully they'll win. I don't know if I can go live in between games because I'm going to be working, but I'm going to try to go live after the second game if I can, depending on how the rest of the day goes. But I was at the draft and I was at Penn Relay, so I missed a lot of work, and now I have to make it up today. So we'll see. We will see. Suarez is on fire right now, so let him continue to do that. Chandler said, yeah. So there's a lot of players that get drafted that don't turn out to be nothing. There's a lot of players that don't get drafted that turn out to be good players. So this is a crapshoot. Yeah, I'm gonna listen in on the next game too. So, but go have a great day, everybody. Go enjoy your Sunday, and let's go Yankees.